What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's new, pussycat? Whoa, whoa, whoa. Okay, I had to change the music. I just wanted to maybe lighten up the music here a little bit for when we welcome Senator Chris Coons in. You know, I've been playing What's the Buzz, so I thought we'd go Tom Jones on the senator and ask, what's new, pussycat? I'm sorry, Senator, no disrespect.
Mike, I can always count on you for an intriguing intro.
Well, I have to keep you on your toes because you know you are everywhere these days, and I know you're the hardest working guy from our state. No slam to any other politician from Delaware, but I see your output more than I see from the others. So, good morning, welcome back. Busy days in D.C. these days, and
yep, and a busy day in Delaware today, Mike. I'm on my way to visit the PBF refinery. Later today, I'll be visiting a rapidly expanding biopharma company here in Wilmington. Yesterday, I was visiting with a great group of University of Delaware students who are part of the first ever Delaware Innovation Fellows class. And I talked with a whole class of Padua Academy students. It was an interesting day. I'd like if I could start with just one thing, Mike.
Yep.
The congressional delegation is going to have another one of our job fairs. This one is down at the beach. It's at the Atlantic Sands Hotel. It's going to be Thursday, April 13th, and it's going to run from 2 to 6 in the evening. And we have more than 38 employers who are hiring for 500 jobs. These are seasonal, part-time, and full-time. Anybody who's listening who's looking for work this summer or who's looking for work permanently and is willing to go live and work in eastern Sussex, I think these are some great opportunities. Some of the jobs are throughout the state, are with either state or federal agencies or with companies in Kent or Sussex. We also have 3 different organizations that are there to help folks how to interview, how to write your resume, how to get the job you're looking for. So I appreciate the chance to just share with folks that we're doing another one of our congressional delegation free job fairs on Thursday, April 13th at the Atlantic Sands in the afternoon.
We'll repeat it here. We'll repeat it Wednesday and Thursday, Atlantic Sands Hotel, 2 to 6 Thursday. 38 companies, over 500 jobs, some summer employment, some full-time. It's vital, and I can't tell you how important that is, so thank you. We'll happily plug the hell out of that. So can I get into your quote of the day yesterday? Because you earned it yesterday.
What was my quote of the day, Mike?
If you're going into a big fight, bring some big friends.
Yeah, well, as a guy who's vertically challenged, I always think that way because, we've got an aircraft carrier strike task force steaming towards North Korea.
Yeah.
President Trump launched a cruise missile strike against Syria, and in both cases, the countries that we're entering into a conflict with, Syria and North Korea, have very powerful allies in Russia and in China. And my comment there, that was, I think, on a CNN interview, was simply to say that in the course of the campaign, now President Trump said a couple of things that suggested that NATO and Japan and South Korea were not vital allies and that they should pay up. If we're heading into confrontations with Russia and China, I think it's more important than ever that we embrace our allies and engage them in the road towards these potential very real confrontations with 2 other significant adversaries.
Well, I completely agree with you, and I think this is one of the areas that you and I will find common ground on. And maybe the other area, I get very nervous, Senator, when I hear anyone mention the phrase regime change, because I always know that means unrest. We don't have as much control of the outcome as we think we do. And it also tends to mean American men and women will be put in harm's way. And I'm very nervous about this. Are you concerned?
I am concerned. I just heard from my wife this morning. A family friend has been deployed to Syria. We have hundreds of American men and women, the armed forces, on the ground in Syria in the fight against ISIS. We've got thousands in Iraq, and, of course, we have close to 10,000 still serving in Afghanistan. These are dangerous and uncertain situations. Mike, to rephrase something that was said often about the Obama administration, we tried all three different approaches over the years. In Iraq, President Bush, championed an invasion where we invaded, knocked over a dictator, occupied the country, and it was a mess. In Libya, under President Obama, we didn't invade, but we knocked over a dictator, and it was a mess. And in Syria, we did neither. We neither invaded nor attacked, and it was a mess. So frankly, that is just a reminder that American engagement in the Middle East is risky and uncertain. And what I think we need next out of the administration and Congress is for the administration to work with us to define a strategy for our counter-ISIS campaign in Iraq and Syria, for our confrontation with North Korea, and for our confrontation with Assad, and get approval from Congress. Congress needs to do its job. We need to step up and declare war against ISIS, something that I urged us to do when President Obama was stepping up our military campaign against ISIS. So I just want to make sure that I've been clear about that's a consistent position for me.
Oh, absolutely. You've been consistent on that. But Senator Coons, can you tell us what's the danger of declaring war against ISIS? What's the problem with doing that?
I don't think there is a problem. I think Congress needs to step forward and do that. The larger challenge is that we couldn't come to agreement on the Foreign Relations Committee. While Obama was president, many Republicans questioned, sort of his wisdom in leadership. And there were many Democrats who didn't want to authorize any new conflict. We were able to get a group of 4 to 6 of us to agree, but we weren't sure we had the votes to get it out of committee. And ultimately, Chairman Corker persuaded many of us that it would be worse for the men and women of our armed forces to have the Senate fail to authorize the ongoing conflict. Now we have a new president, a new situation. I think we should take another run at it. And I frankly am going to be pushing my Democratic colleagues to step forward and make it clear under what circumstances they're going to support the war against ISIS that we're already in, has already been underway for more than 2 years.
And I think you'll find bipartisan support on that. I hope you will. I got like a minute and a half left before I have to jump into a break. Can I ask you a question about Nikki Haley? Because during her confirmation, I know you said something about and I'm paraphrasing you, so forgive me, about not wanting her to learn the job on the job. I'm a gigantic Nikki Haley fan. Can you give her a grade at this point?
I'll tell you, I was impressed with her speech at the UN Security Council right after the chemical gas attack. It was forceful, it was engaging, and I'm encouraged. So I'll tell you that in my personal meeting with her, I came away convinced that she had very little subject matter knowledge about global affairs, but she had real experience as a governor and was engaging. And clearly she's someone who is learning quickly on the job. I'll give her a B so far if you insist on a grade.
All right.
And that's an upgrade from what I thought after our initial meeting. And honestly, I'm hopeful that she's going to be a strong UN ambassador and a strong part of the team because we need strong representation at the UN. We need a strong diplomatic team. This is exactly the wrong time for us to slash the budget that supports our diplomats. Tillerson's meeting in Russia today with probably Lavrov and Putin, and Nikki Haley keeps representing us at the UN. They both need support to do their jobs well.
I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, Senator Chris Coons. Thank you, Senator, and thank you for indulging my latest attempts at bringing you in with music. Have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Mike. You too.
He's always fair. I believe Chris Coons is always fair, and that's one of the reasons he's a regular, always welcome guest on this show. It is 15 minutes before 8. Let's check traffic and weather on the 5s.